Happy Friday, guys. We're going to go ahead and get started here with a new lesson. We're going to be adding and subtracting some fractions. So the first two units were pretty easy. We did use a calculator a little bit yesterday when comparing the fractions. We cross multiplied and to figure some things out. But today's going to be really no calculator. And we're going to have to get common denominators. We're going to have to add and subtract. Not a lot of fun, to be honest with you, but it's something that we need to cover, and we will be having a short quiz over these first three lessons, probably Monday, Tuesday, sometime around there. I'm not sure how it goes, but anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So anytime that we add and subtract fractions, we need a common denominator, just like when we were comparing them and ordering them on Thursday. So anyway, so when we have a common denominator, the only thing we're going to do is combine the numerators, and that ends up being 10, and the denominator doesn't change. So we end up with being 10/20. Now, we know that that should be simplified, and really, 10/20, if I divide both of those by 10, I end up with 1/2, right? Or I could have just killed the zeros there and brought the 1/2 over, okay? So that's like dividing it by 10, okay? All right, let's take a peek at 13/16 minus 1/16, right? So 16 stays the same. 13 minus 1 is 12. Those are both even, so that can be simplified, right? Divided by 2 is 6. Divided by 2 is 8. We can go again. Divided by 2 is 3. Divided by 2 is 4, and that goes to 3/4. Right? Okay, let's slide down to number 3, and we have 3 1/10 minus 0 7/10. Now, I wouldn't recommend always writing this, but I'm just showing you that I can't take, I don't need to take that away. Now, this is a unique problem. Right out of the gate, they're wanting us to borrow, okay? So, borrowing from a whole number, all right? And I'm going to change to a pencil. And what we're going to do, so once we have a common denominator, I found out that I can't take 7 from 1. So I'm going to borrow 1 from the 3 and make it a 2. To show that I borrowed 1, I'm going to add these two numbers together. So 10 plus 1 is 11. So now 3 1/10 is really equal to 2 11/10. And now I'm going to finish out the problem. 2 minus 0 is 2. 11 minus 7 is 4. And I get 10 on the bottom. Now, those are both even. So we can find out that 2 4/10 equals 2, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5, is 2 2/5. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go back to my red pen, and here we go. We have a common denominator. We are adding. Let's do it. 5 plus 1 is 6. 1 plus 7 is 8. My denominator doesn't change. I'm going to rewrite it down here and go ahead and simplify it. So the 6 came over. And I'm going to divide both of these by 2. Well, there's something bigger than 2, isn't there? There's 4. So let's divide both of those by 4, right? And simplify this down, right? 8 divided by 4 is 2. 12 divided by 4 is 3. And I end up with 6 2/3. Just giving you a little contrast there, all right? Okay. Let's continue on. Adding and subtracting fractions, right? 1 plus 3 is 4. 7 plus 3 is 10. And 8 stays the same. Well, what's the problem here, right? We have a whole number and an improper fraction. So we need to convert this to a mixed number and add it back. And you remember how to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 10 and divide it by 8. 8 goes into 10 once. 1 times 8 is 8. Subtracting, get 2. So I'm going to end up with 1, and 2 goes on the top, 8s. I'm going to add it to the 4. So 4 plus 1 is, and I'm going to use a different color, is 5. I added this number and this number to get the 5. and I'm going to bring the 2/8 down. So 5 and 2/8 is equal to 4 and 10/8. But guess what? We need to simplify 2/8, okay, because they're both even. So we're going to simplify that down to 1/4 divided by 2, divided by 2, and that is our final answer. So these are challenging. Yes, I agree. These are challenging. We're probably going to do this Monday and Tuesday, Friday and Monday, adding and subtracting, and probably have a little quiz Tuesday. But anyway, let's get started. We're going to rewrite the problem. Minus 2 3/4, right? Okay, I have a common denominator. I can't take 3 from 1. I'm changing to the pencil. I'm going to borrow 1 from the 6 and make it a 5. When I borrow, I add the denominator and the numerator together to get a new numerator. So 4 plus 1 is 5. And now I'm going to subtract. 5 minus 2 is 3. 5 minus 3 is 2. And the denominator stays the same. And of course, we need to simplify, don't we? So I bring the 3 over. I'm going to divide both of these by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and I end up with 3.5. Okay? So, still, not too bad. We have a common denominator. That's a whole nother layer when we don't have one. All right, let's continue on with number 7 here and see what we come up with here, okay? All right, number 7. One cat weighs 12 5/9 pounds. And another one weighs 16 7/9 pounds. Find their combined weight. We need to add them. So 12 5/9 plus 16 7/9 is what it's asking us, right? Okay. So let's go ahead and combine our whole numbers. 12 plus 16 is 28. 5 plus 7 is 12. And we have 9, right? I don't like this. We need to change that, right? So 9, 12, 1. 1 goes into 9, 9. Subtract, get 3. Okay, so 12 ninths equals 1 3/9. We're going to add that to the 28. So we're going to end up with 29 3/9. But guess what? It needs simplified, right? 3/9, these are both divisible by 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And we're going to label that as pounds. So both cats together weigh 29 1/3 pounds. Okay? Okay. So hopefully you're feeling pretty good. This is going to be a long video here. Let me take a peek on the other side here, all right? And those are unlike. All right, so let's take a look at number 8. Number 8. It rained 2 7/15 inches in April, 3 1/15 inches in May. How many more inches did it rain in May than April? How many more tells us we need to subtract? So 3 1/15 minus 2 7/15. Okay? All right. First thing I look at is my denominators. They are like, I'm in good shape. Can I take 7 from 1? No. So I'm going to change it in colors, and we're going to have to borrow. I'm going to borrow 1 from the 3 and make it a 2. When I borrow that one, I'm going to add my denominator and my numerator together and get a new numerator of 6. So now this is really 2 6/5. 2 minus 2 is nothing. 6, I can't add. That's 15. Let's go back because I thought that was a slash. All right, 15 plus 1 is 16, so that should be 16. 16 minus 7 is 9, and the denominator stays the same. So the answer is 9/15. I caught that mistake there, didn't I? Inches. All right, inches. So it is. Okay, so we're just going to stick to adding and subtracting fractions with like denominators. So let's take a peek at homework 3 and let's go over which ones you're going to do here, okay? So we're going to do numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 on the first page. We're going to flip it over. And that will be it. The rest are unlike denominators, and I really don't want to get into that until Monday. I'll be doing more problems in class with you and subtracting and so on, and we'll be using whiteboards. So this is really the homework for the weekend, 1 through 4. You must show your work. Have a good day.